Hello and welcome back to the video on the rest of the and to another edition of AEW Dynamite Out of 10. And yeah, it's a big episode today because Forbidden Door is taking place next weekend in London. So yeah, we've got a few matches to build towards that. And yeah, there's a couple of other bits on the show as well. But let's get straight into things. And we started things off with MJF and Hangman, who met in the ring where the Salt of the Earth tried to goad the Cowboy into giving him a shot at the world title. Instead, the Cowboy turned the mocking tone and convinced MJF to use his title shot at Forbidden Door. This was another fantastic exchange between these two. They have plenty of chemistry in the ring and on the mic, and this played like a competition of its own. Each man threw verbal shots at each other. I get what they wanted. By the end, the Salt of the Earth was the one who faltered to use his contract shot. This is the best path for MJF and Hangman. The former's not going to win the latter's reign by stealing the title from him when he's vulnerable. MJF will need to beat the Cowboy fair and squaring. It's going to be a money match. MJF could have a secret plan with the Hurt Syndicate, who knows, but it will play out in a massive stage at Forbidden Door, and yeah, can't wait. Moving on then to Kevin Knight, who pushed John Moxley with his unique blend of athleticism and strength, but the Death Rider still managed to catch him with a Lion Sleeper, forcing a submission. Afterwards, Yuta and Shafir tried to beat down Knight and Speedball until Darby made the save. The Daredevil ran off Mox and Shafir before trying to trap Yuta in a body bag. Claudio turned the tables on Alan and trapped him in a bag and said Will Ospreay made a shock return to save Alan and challenged the Death Riders to a lights out steel cage match in London. Mox and Knight didn't quite play out as dramatically as Bailey's challenge of the Death Rider, but it was understandable with so much planned after the bell. The action was solid and especially showed the Jet has much upside in AEW. Alan's return was expected. Castagnoli's was almost a jump scare. Ospreay's return was the biggest shock, though, and it's going to be great for him to be on his home stage at Forbidden. Mox v Allen will happen at some point, but the competitors in steel cage will undoubtedly be a show stealer. So yeah, also looking forward to that. 6 out of 10. Next up, it was Mercedes Moné, Thekla and Sky Blue versus Alex Windsor, Queen Aminata and Willow. Moné found herself overwhelmed by the strength of the team, and after the CEO was taken out, Sky Blue was left to take the sharpshooter from Windsor and tapped out. Afterwards, Timeless, Tony and Windsor cleared the ring. The Timeless one challenged the CEO and Athena to face them in Scotland next week. This could have used more time. Everyone made the most of their spotlight. Windsor continued to shine. It's a shock that Moné lost this match, even if she was not pinned, but it benefited Windsor going into Forbidden Door. Aminata and Thekla also continued to show their abilities. I think this was a really decent multi-woman match. And yeah, still got that big question over could Athena dethrone Storm. I don't think it's impossible. So yeah, 7 out of 10. Moving on then to Cope, who ran over Stokely with ease. Dax Howard and Cash Wheeler chain out to shine start of all. But the referee had to call for the bell after Stokely threw the powder into the face of the Rated R superstar. Chris Kincaid made a shocking save on behalf of Cope, and they sent FTR running off and the Patriarchy too. They then hugged it out. It was surprising that when this was the night when it all happened. Obviously, this was never going to be a real match, but it was a fun segment that highlighted the veterans. There will likely be more bumps in the road, but yeah, having these two teaming together at some point is going to be an incredible moment. Moving on then to the Don Callis family and the Young Bucks taking on the Conglomeration and Hiromi Takahashi, who arrived as the surprise man to help Ishii, Hologram and King. Matt and Nick were repeatedly distracted while Fletcher and Josh Alexander couldn't keep the wild babyface team down. Takahashi sealed the win with a time bomb to Alexander. Excalibur confirmed Takahashi would challenge Fletcher at Forbidden Door. Yeah, a great match. Everyone involved delivered, and the spotlight was firmly placed on the man who needed the strongest introduction. With so many of New Japan's top names involved with the G1, the options to appear on Dynamite were limited. Takahashi's is far from a slouch, and he looked great. It's good to know that he'll get a major spotlight for Forbidden Door too, and I think that could be a banger match too. So yeah, 7 out of 10. Moving on then to Rene Paquette, who questioned Swerve on a possible knee injury he picked up. The Pogel promised he would still bring his all to the unified title fight. Okada told Swerve he had no chance to beat him. A brawl broke out between the two before security intervened. Hopefully it's more of a story element than anything too serious, but it definitely does add extra drama going into London, and since Don Callis can't interfere, it could be a good way to build heat for the Rainmaker. So yeah, looking forward to that one too. But then we got the Ox versus LFI in the main event, and Samoa Joe returned to action in a dominant fashion as he, Shibata and Hobbs overpowered their opponents. While Shibata and Hobbs kept Roosh and the Beast Mortals out of the way, the Samoan submission machine made Jalisco pass out to the Cookie in a clutch. It's great to see Joe back in action for Forbidden Door, but this felt like an anticlimax end to the night given the strong action. This was short, perhaps due to Joe working a bit banged up, and there was no surprise appearance or challenge made to the Trios champions, with implications for Finn Balor. It just felt like the Ops are getting back to business as usual, which is not really a great thing, even with a post-match angle between Paige and MJF. It would have been better to give this spot to the All-Star 8-man tag featuring Takahashi. This was going to be the big finish for the night. They could have kind of kept Joe's surprise a bit more secretive. So yeah, I thought probably not the best way to end the show off, and that was it's a bit disappointing, to be fair. So yeah, I'm going to give it a 4 out of 10. Overall, AEW Dynamite gets a 5 out of 10 from me. I thought, yeah, on the whole, it's a pretty decent show. Maybe the main event didn't quite live up to expectations, but except for that, it's really strong. And yeah, the card for Bindor is definitely coming up really good now. I think, yeah, lots of very exciting matches on there, and the pay-per-view that I am very much looking forward to. So yeah, pretty decent show. For this video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe, follow us on our socials, link in the description below for daily wrestling news, meme and content. Subscribe to our other channels on screen right now, that'd be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace out.